your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, good evening to you on this Friday. Weekend is here and started out on a nice note today. Lots of sunshine, mild temperatures. Now the clouds and now the rain arriving. As you can see here, scattered showers are starting to pop up, and we're expecting even more as we head later into the upcoming weekend. But at least it's still warm. 58 in Champaign, 61 degrees in Effingham right now. And as we go throughout the course of this evening, we're going to see those temperatures remain fairly mild, but major changes starting tomorrow. We're talking rain and, believe it or not, maybe even some snowflakes. We'll talk about that when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
More COVID-19 mitigations are now in effect statewide. What the governor says could happen if those new rules fail. Plus, a state representative was accused of stealing a purse, why a special prosecutor decided not to charge her with a crime. And we told you about a murder suspect released from police custody, why the sheriff says a mix-up is now to blame.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 5.
The newest wave of mitigations are in effect, and Governor Pritzker spent today pointing at what the future could look like if those efforts fail. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini. The state has warned about what could happen if hospitals get overwhelmed. WCIA 3's Cole Hankey's in the Capitol newsroom tonight. So, Cole, this trend really just isn't looking good.
That's right, Paul. Hospitalizations across the entire state are still on the rise. And in places like Region 7, they're on their last legs when it comes to ICU bed availability. The governor said that he's had conversations with medical leaders at places like Northwestern Hospital, and they're scared of the trends that they are seeing. The state is testing more people than ever now, and critics of the governor's mitigation plans are asking for that positivity rate threshold to be raised up from 8% to the point where those mitigations can then be taken away. But Pritzker says that this is a complete non-starter.
We don't think we're going to hit 8%. This is when we were at 3.5% and 4%. We're not going to hit 8%. That's just going to be a fail-safe. I used that word a lot back then. 8%. Well, gosh, now we're at 16. I mean, in some places, 19%.
Dr. Ezike says that hospitalizations across the state have doubled in less than a month, with there now being 6,000 people in the hospital compared to 3,000 at the end of October. When a hospital starts to reach max capacity with these ICU beds, that's when they may start trying to switch them around, move a patient to a different hospital in other parts of the state. That's the plan so far, and it hasn't had to be used too much recently, but that's the future if these trends continue. Paul.
All right, Cole, thanks for that update. Now, Region 3 currently has 26 out of 160 ICU beds available, and Region 6 has 36 of 160 ICU beds available. Both regions have seen a rise in hospitalizations for the past 5 days. Now, let's take a look at today's coronavirus numbers. There are more than 13,000 new infections statewide. This comes after 116,000 plus tests were performed in the last 24 hours. Now, the state's positivity rate over the last 7 days has gone down a bit, 13.4% today. But hospitalizations are still going up. There are more than 6,100 people in the hospital with COVID-19. As of last night, nearly 1,200 were in the ICU, 604 on ventilators, 126 more people have died. That includes 11 from Central Illinois. More than 11,300 people have died with COVID-19 in Illinois. 2 more House Democrats said they would not be voting for Michael Madigan to keep his seat as Speaker next session. That brings the total to 18 Democrats, which leaves Madigan 5 short of the 60 total he needs to keep the gavel. Only one other Democrat has announced intentions to run for House Speaker. It is unclear if anybody else would be able to get the 60 votes needed to unseat Speaker Madigan. Here's an update now. A man who pleaded guilty over the summer to threatening Congressman Rodney Davis was sentenced to 2 years probation today. 64-year-old Randall Tars from Rochester. He called Davis's office in Decatur last November and threatened to shoot Davis. Tars' probation includes a $2,000 fine, and he must complete mental health treatment. Davis and his family also have a no-contact order against Tar. A special prosecutor dropped a case against State Representative Carol Ammons. The move comes nearly 10 months after allegations of retail theft surfaced in January. Patrick Delfino said this week 4 prosecutors determined there is insufficient evidence to charge Ammons with a crime. They reviewed documentation, police reports, and security footage from the Carl Retail Auxiliary Boutique. Ammons was accused of taking an $80 purse on January 10th. She's called the incident a misunderstanding. And new tonight, dozens of law enforcement are responding to a reported shooting at a mall in Wisconsin. This is a live look. I know it's difficult to see, but you can see some of the flashing lights there at Mayfair Mall in Wauwatosa, where police were called around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Multiple squad cars are there along with police canines. At least 3 people were seen being taken away earlier by ambulance. The city's mayor says none of the injuries are expected to be life-threatening. We do have more details about a murder suspect who was released from custody too soon. His attorney says he does plan to turn himself in. Darian White was arrested and charged last year for the murder of 16-year-old David Sankey in Champaign. Sankey was shot in the head near his home in Champaign's Garden Hills neighborhood in 2018. White was sentenced to the Illinois Department of Corrections on an unrelated case in Champaign County. But the sheriff says there was a mix-up with paperwork while following COVID-19 protocols, and White was released. We spoke to his attorney this afternoon. He spoke to White since his release. The attorney says White thought the case had been dismissed against him, but White says he found out Monday that was not the case. The attorney says as far as he knows, White has not yet surrendered. Champaign police have arrested the man they say robbed Kohinoor restaurant on Wednesday. Gregory Lee Gates was stopped by an officer on patrol about a block away from the scene. Gates is said to have confessed to that robbery, saying he was hungry, going through withdrawals, and needed something. Police searched his living area and found a computer, charging cord, and $1,400 cash. Because Gates has multiple prior convictions dating back to 1989, he'll face sentencing as what's known as a Class X felon. This would mean a 6 to 30-year mandatory prison term if he's convicted. Gates' bond is set at $50,000. Police in Decatur are investigating after the Northeast Community Fund announced one of its bank accounts was the target of a fraud attack. The executive director says unlawful and unauthorized withdrawals were made from that account. They are working with the Decatur police to find persons of interest. They've since closed their compromised accounts and recovered the money that was taken. Everyone is okay after a house caught fire in Mattoon. Firefighters were called to a home near South 4th Street and Illinois Avenue. When they arrived, smoke was coming from the back of the home. A person inside made it out. There was a lot of smoke and heat damage. Investigators are still trying to find out what caused that fire. And many people have lost hours or lost jobs during this crisis. How one organization is helping them get back on their feet. Plus this.
It's really just about community.
It's a place where people can grab what they need to stay warm, where the Giving Fence is now up and running.